Welcome back to the NFM High School Football Preview Show here on Spectrum News. We're at Lee Summit North High School for the big announcement, Williams Nwaneri and his decision on college fall of next year.
For the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be attending the University of Missouri.
Nwaneri is one of the country's top recruits. His decision to stay in-state allows him to play close to home and take advantage of Missouri's aggressive NIL rules, and puts him one step closer to his lifelong dream of playing in the NFL.
Probably around second grade, that's when I started playing, so I just wanted to be the best I could be.
You got to feel like you're a step closer now, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. I'm not there yet though.
What has this whole process been like? I know you said it was kind of wearying for you.
For the most part, it was a fun process, but it can be a little stressful sometimes. Trying to differentiate between all the locations and all the schools, but it was a fun process for the most part.
Now you got a high school season to play. What are you looking forward to with Lee Summit North now?
I'm really just looking forward to getting on the field with my brothers, and just giving another shot at the state title that we're gonna go get. So, yes, sir.
Is that what drives you now?
Oh yeah, for sure. We got to go get it. We got to.
Well, congratulations. Appreciate the time, and best of luck at Missouri and this year with Lee Summit North.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Appreciate it. And we had a chance to talk with at least one of his teammates and Coach Mosey about what they're expecting here at Lee Summit North this season.
Besides the fact that we are talented, there's no denying that. It's the leadership. It's the guys that come to work every day. And it's not 2 or 3. There's about 15 to 20 guys that can lead our football team and that want to win really bad and that care about each other. So that's my favorite part about this group.
You've got 7 Division I players and counting probably as we sit right now. Is it hard to manage that much talent? Or obviously you'd like to have as much talent as you can, but there are a lot of different personalities and a lot of high talented players on that team. Is that a challenge as a coach?
With this group, it hasn't been. It's hard for people to be genuine, right? Am I really happy for your success? And that can be weird for teammates because I'm watching you get something that I may want, and they're dealing with your parents and things of that nature. But it's been pretty good. Our guys do a good job of caring about each other, being happy for each other, and using that as a way to push yourself, right? Like wow, I'm seeing him doing that. I'm gonna copy what he's doing and kind of push too. So it's been really good.
Elijah, what are your expectations for this team? What do you want to see out of this year's squad?
I want to see us really become a brotherhood. I think we are, but I think we just really come together fully, and that will just help us go all the way to state, and hopefully you win it. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. It's just becoming a really strong brotherhood, and everybody loving each other and everything.
Elijah Zavia, a big part of your team. Who are the other big contributors that you look for this season?
One being him, he's a quarterback, and then he'll be throwing the ball to Isaiah Mosey, kid I know pretty well. Yeah. Right, and he's a good player for us. He's a dynamic receiver and had a really good year last year. He'll follow that up again the way he's looking. We have a really good offensive line. We've got a kid named Tanner Howes is back. He'll be a 3-year starter for us. Probably by the end of the year, he'll be the school's all-time leading rusher. He's a really, really good football player. And there's a kid that's going to hit the scene behind him named Quade Chapman, and everybody will get a chance to see him. He's a little bigger. He's going to be a guy that ends up being a Power 5 guy. He's going to be good. And on defense, our D lineman, Williams Nwaneri, somebody that's pretty popular. In some of those rankings, he's the #1 player in the country. And so we look for him to be dominant. Kamari Moore, our D tackle, just committed to the University of Oklahoma. Chase Pearsall, he's a guy that's got a lot going on recruiting-wise. He'll be a stud at outside linebacker. So got a DB, Mike Lane, we think he's as good as we've had at corner. So returning safety, Isaac McIntosh, he's a guy that played in the state game. And it's kind of funny, in that state championship game, we played 10 sophomores in that game.
Wow.
And, so we got a lot returning, a lot of guys back.
Yeah, I don't think I realized that you were that young, that you had that many young players playing. But that's a blessing then for the next year, right? When those guys have had a taste of the highest level, and now you've got to do it again.
Absolutely. So you don't have to repeat yourself anymore, right? Those guys understand it. They know it. They come to work. They get it. They know what hard. They know how. They know what to expect. There's no tricking them now. And so that was an amazing thing that we were able to pull off last year. But a lot of people didn't know that. Like, we had 10 sophomores out there.
Wow. You mentioned your son. Is that a it's got to be a great memory to be able to spend that much time with him through high school. What are the challenges of father, son, coach, player as you go through his career?
That's a good question. People ask that all the time. It's just fun coaching him, you know what I mean? And you're trying to navigate that. And I have good coaches around me that help. deal with him as opposed to me, jumping on him and things of that nature. When we get in the car, we try not to talk about ball. We can talk about anything you want. Let's just not talk about that because you want to keep your relationship good. Yeah. And then the fact that he's getting the attention that he's getting, and so that's another dynamic, with parents and things of that nature. So, but it's been good. It's been definitely an honor to get a chance to coach him.
Absolutely. You get Liberty North to start this season on one of our games of the week. It ought to be a lot of fun. Do you look forward to a top opponent right out of the gate to start the season? Does that help make those practices maybe a little more focused when you know you've got a good one right out of the chute?
Yes, we're focused on them already. We've been focused about it ever since the schedule came out. That we knew we had Liberty North first, and it was going to be a hard game. Very first is going to be a dogfight, so we're ready for that, and we've just been working ever since to this day.
You like having Liberty North right out of the gate?
I do. It's an identifier. Last year we were young, and that's not an excuse. I mean, they beat us, and so we made a lot of mistakes, did some different things, and so our guys are definitely honed in on that. A lot of reminders about how we, things that we did in that game, and so they're good. They're a good program. Coach Lieberman does a really good job, and so they've got our undivided attention.
How often do you bring up that state championship game with your guys once it was over, from just either a learning aspect of it or as a motivational tool that you use going into the season?
Constantly. It never stops because it's a challenge, right? Liberty North has beat us multiple times. That's a challenge. So it shouldn't be hard to motivate you. And with the kind of guys that we have, it's not. And so they take it personal, and I want them to, right? You get beat, you got to do something about it. And it's how you work, it's how you prepare. It's not just when you get out there. So no, it's constant reminders.
Leslie, tell me what it's like to be a quarterback with that potent an offense and that many weapons on that offense. What's that like as a quarterback? I got to think that's got to be a dream, right?
Yeah, it's actually a great thing because I can throw to anybody, and we can run the ball. I have a great offensive line to hold me. So, and then my players, if I need a bailout, they'll bail me out most of the time. So it's great.
So what's the challenge for this team this year in your mind?
Challenge for our team is just first start off the season great, get the W first game, and then we just go game after game all the way to state. That's what I want.
Could do you lay out that goal as you start the season? Are you truly a game at a time? But you got to look at the big picture as well, I guess.
It is a game at a time, and I think some coaches say different things. The proper thing to say, it's one step at a time, and it is. I mean, you're going to get everyone's best shot, but you also got to understand the moments, right? Week one is a moment. That's a big game, and so we understand that there's certain things that go into that may not go into another game, and it's just being honest. And so it's explaining our goals, keeping those things in front of them to keep them focused throughout, right? So you do want to win a conference title. We do want to beat everybody in our town, right? We want to win a district title, and those things get you to the state championship, and so it is literally step by step, but it's also big picture at the same time.
You're going to be our game of the week to start this season. You made some appearances on the old Metro Sports Days as a player. Does he ever share any highlights with you guys? Do you know what kind of player your coach was?
We seen a highlight. It pulled up on Instagram, and then we all just started sharing it. It was a run against against Oak Park.
Okay.
So we was all talking about it. So it was a great thing seeing it too.
You remember that one?
I do. I try to hide that stuff as much as I can from them. We talk so much trash every day to each other. I'm right in the middle of it. I get it started. But when they saw it, it was kind of funny because they were all teasing me. Some gave me a compliment, but they're not throwing any bones. But it is neat to have lived through some of those classics. And then, you guys play a couple that we coached in. And so it's pretty neat to see that.
Yeah. But being a top-line player and then now coaching the talent that you have and all these Division I players, does that help you as a coach, coming from that player perspective, knowing what they're going through and what they're fighting and what they're dealing with?
It does. It gives you a lot of insight. And you don't know that until you know it, right? And so now that I'm in it and I'm dealing with my guys, the guys are picking schools, I can really help navigate it with a sense of understanding and knowing what they're going through. The dynamic that's different, though, is the social media. Right, we did not have that. I didn't even have a cell phone until I think I got to college. So
VHS tapes.
Yeah, it's just so much different. But yeah, there's a lot of insight, but there's also a lot of new with the social media and how they handle that, and mental capacity of it, mental health, and a lot of things that have changed. So yes and no, right? You're learning every day. But yeah, definitely the insight from having lived through some things.
Guys, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck. We'll see you week one.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. We're excited.
All right. We'll have more with the NFM High School Football Preview Show. Gardner Edgerton joins us when we return. Stay with us.
Is all around it, and they've recovered it.